it's time to look at the stories making headlines in Nigerian newspapers. Joining me now on Skype is the CEO of CKN News, Chris Kende Wandu. Chris, good morning. It's good to have you join me now.
Thank you, Mike. Thank God it's Friday.
Great. All right. Let's begin with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Daily Trust says COVID-19, 20 states slash budget by 1.4 trillion naira. Okay, and capital spendings suffer and health sector gets boost while Buhari is yet to sign revised budget. And there is an infographic on the front page there giving a breakdown of what the initial budget estimates were and what the current ones are from amongst the states, from across the state. All right, that's Daily Trust. From there, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says 24 hours after Akeredolu, wife tested positive. Ondo Health Commissioner dies of COVID-19. CMD positive. It's a really troubling report, certainly. And Ganduje ends Kano lockdown, and laboratory centers underutilized. As the PTF is saying this, and says 160 tests positive daily globally, 160,000 rather. Let's stop playing games. A Kogi governor is saying this. Okay, he's been really critical of the approach to this. All right, that's Blueprint newspaper. Daily Times is next. NLC rejects increase in price of petrol and demands immediate reversal. And it's grand mischief, deceit. And PDP says APC lacks sympathy. That's on the political side there. All right, Daily Times, I guess my guests will like to talk about this when the discussions open shortly. The national economy is next. COVID-19. The federal government intensifies efforts to boost earnings from non-oil sector and task the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission on fresh revenue ideas. And time to embrace taxation for economic survival. Experts are saying this. Okay, it's time to diversify, really. That's what they're saying here. All right. From the national economy, let's go to the Friday, the leadership newspaper, Leadership Friday, COVID-19. Federal government goes tough on hospitals over neglect of routine health services. And medical directors will pay for negligence. The minister is saying this, and he says Nigerians dying from lack of attention. Mandates all public hospitals to collect coronavirus samples. And declares Madagascar herbs same as Artemisia annual plant grown in Niprid farm. Insists schools have not resumed, and WHO urges strong air travel safety measures in Africa. And Ondo Health Commissioner dies, governor's wife tests positive for coronavirus, and Ganduje eases lockdown in Kano. These are many headlines from across the papers on the leadership. Let's go to News Direct, which is the last one now. 240 billion naira debt. AMCON takes over assets of Pan Ocean Group. Okay, AMCON takes over assets of Pan Ocean Group. All right. Now let's get, Chris. Let me come to you on the story on the front page of the Daily Times. Daily Times newspaper says NLC rejects increase in price of petrol and demands immediate reversal. Okay, now this story has been on, and this controversy has been on. The government decided to reduce the pump price of petrol from 145 earlier down to about 123 and 121 earlier on. Now it's coming back on, but everybody applauded the government when they decided to reduce the price. But now it's coming back on, and everyone is shouting. Why is that?
Mike, is normal. When you see an increase in price of any commodity, there's always, even if you go to any of the supermarkets and you get there and you budgeted for a certain item, only to get there and see that the price has increased. There's a tendency for you to feel a bit discomfort, but when you get there and see that the prices have been reduced, you feel a bit comfortable, and you tend to smile. So that is what is happening now. Yes, legitimately the NLC and the various labor union have the right to say that they are not comfortable with the increase because it's just barely less than a month that the price was reduced. But don't forget that PPRA has come out to say that market forces is going to determine the prices of petrol. In the past 2 months, we've had about 2 months or 3 months, we've had a reduction twice, and then this is an increment. But my challenge here is that the rate at the increment compared to the, this is the highest we've seen in the past few years. It has always been a gradual increment, but this one is the highest so far, from about 123 to about 143. That's very, very high. So, and if we are looking at market forces, and you said that it's going to be based on the fact that there's been an increase in oil prices, you also have to look at the increment, because when it was reduced, I think we are just hovering around $30, $33 or $35. And now it's just about $8. And why are we having such high increase? So legitimately, the Labour has the right and to be able to reject that. But as I said, it's just too early. Less than a month that we reduce and we are increasing again. I believe that we should have waited for about 2 months to see how this pans out and has to see the fluctuation within the international market.
All right. So the price should have been down for some time before it comes up again. But the point there is, on the other hand, there are some arguments that government needs money to carry out and conduct a lot of its programs for the people. Could that be some of the reasons why this is coming up at this time?
Yes, government need money to perform some of its duties, but the government also know that it was the people's duty to also ameliorate some of their suffering. How much have Nigerians been making in the past 6 months? Or 3 months, let's say 3-4 months since the COVID-19 pandemic? Most people have lost their job. Some are on half salary. Some cannot. Organizations cannot pay. People have not been going to work, and so this is not the right time, I think, for us to inflict more pains on Nigerians. We are just coming back gradually. A lot of Nigerians are finding it difficult to even find how to eat. And you know the problem we've always had. Not as an increment in petroleum prices, it's that also affects all other sectors within the economy, the transportation, food, the market, and the rest of them. So even landlords will say, oh, there's an increment, they increase their rents and rest. So that's the Nigerian system. So, Mike, you know what I'm talking about?
No, of course, I understand.
Yeah, so it normally has a spiral effect on all sectors of our economy. So that is why we should be able to be very careful when we are taking some of these policies. If you know you are going to increase within 1 month, then there shouldn't have been a reduction in June. So you should just have just allow it to just let's see how it goes. But with this increase, now we're going to have a lot of challenges, and Nigerians are already crying. And don't also forget that the palliative that the government said they are sharing to the people, most people are not getting it. So it's not even trickling down. Then the schools are going to reopen. The aviation sector is opening. In fact, a lot of things. So it's going to be a very tough one.
Yeah.
And so we should be able to look at this.
Yeah, Chris, the point is when it comes to palliatives, I guess that is not on anymore. And a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians had even said government should even stop the issue of palliative instead of even talking about it, because what was shared didn't go anywhere from the reports that we got. Now, on the other hand, the NLC is kicking against this, and they're saying they're giving ultimatums and all of that. What scenario do you see playing going forward as far as this is concerned?
I'm sure that the government will call NLC to a meeting, as they always do. Don't forget also, Mike, that we're having challenges of paying salaries across the states, and the new wages and the new minimum wage that was just increased recently. Most states are not even paying. If you understand what I'm trying to say, most states are not paying. And then the COVID-19 pandemic came in, and everything just went haywire. So it is a tough call, both for labor and Nigerians. But as far as I'm saying, this is also another clarion call for us to also diversify our economy. Mike, we've been saying this. Close to 90% of our foreign earnings is oil. And whenever we have a little shock within the sector across the globe, then we start catching cold. So we still have to go back to the basis and be able to diversify economy. We have been talking about agriculture, we've been talking about mineral resources, other mineral resources and the rest of them. It is high time we start depending on oil. Mike, you know, I normally say this and you laugh over it. At times I just think that oil it's not supposed to be. It has been a cut to our dear country. So we are no longer innovative in our economy planning. Our governors are no longer innovative. All they do every month is just go to Abuja, pick up whatever job they can get from Abuja, and that's just it. So we have to get innovative and know that there are so much hard time ahead. It's COVID-19 today, Mike. We don't know what will happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
It will be worse.
Exactly.
All
right. Let's head into the headlines to see what the papers are and what they're saying across Nigeria today. And my guest will be joining me soon as we get along. Now let's start with the Daily Trust newspaper. Daily Trust newspaper, the fallout from the COVID-19, it says 20 states slash budget by 1.4 trillion naira. And capital spending suffer and health sector gets a boost. Why, and there's an explanation why Buhari is yet to sign a revised budget. You could recall that the National Assembly had made adjustments to the national budget due to COVID-19. And from the breakdown of some of the 20 states that slashed budgets, the states with the highest budgets in the year is Lagos State and Cross River State. With Lagos State had initially had 1.17 trillion naira budget for the year 2020, and now it's been reduced to 920.5 billion naira. And then on the other hand, Cross River State that had 1.1 trillion naira budget for the year, although as of now it still remains the same for that state. But there are other states making adjustments to their budgets, and some of the states with the highest budget Ogun State, Akwa Ibom State, River State, who have all made budget adjustments to the estimate for the year 2020. Okay, from Daily Trust, let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says 24 hours after Akeredolu, wife tested positive, and rising cases, worrisome, state government cries out, and laboratory center underutilized. As the PTF is saying this, and says 160,000 tests positive daily. That's on the global scale. And Ganduje ends Kano lockdown. Let's stop playing games. The governor of Kogi State is insisting that there are so many things he doesn't understand in this whole stuff, and got to stop from some of the reports that we've had him say. All right, from there, let's go to Daily Times. Daily Times newspaper. NLC rejects increase in price of petrol and demands immediate reversal. And PDP says APC lacks sympathy and it's grand mischief and deceit. All right, that's all opinions there on the front page of the Daily Times. Now, national economy is next now, and it's talking from the COVID-19 effect. And it says federal government intensifies efforts to boost earnings from non-oil sector and tax the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission on fresh revenue ideas. And time to embrace taxation for economic survival. Experts are saying this. Now, when it comes to the issue of diversification of the economy, it's part of what everyone has been talking about. Even government administration, after administration, have been talking about this. The issue of agriculture, putting more attention in agriculture. The mining is there because beyond crude oil, there is silver, there is gold, there is, all of those that has to be, explored. And then another ultimate one is the issue of taxation that experts have talked about. And there was also a call recently, I think it was yesterday, when there was an advice that there should be the expansion of the tax net so that more people can come into the tax net in order to generate more funds for the government. Okay, from national economy, let's go to the Leadership Friday. Leadership Friday says federal government goes tough on hospitals over neglect of routine health services, and medical directors will pay for negligence. The minister is saying this, and says that Nigerians are dying from lack of attention. It mandates all public hospitals to collect coronavirus samples. declares that Madagascar herbs same as Artemisia annua plant grown in Niprid farm. Okay, you recall that there has been a face-off constantly between the government and the health workers who are on the front line in the areas of allowances and their welfare all the while. So he has been having impact on the people themselves who need the health services and medical attention. From there, let's go to the News Direct now. News Direct is the last one we're seeing now. 240 billion naira debt. AMCON takes over assets of Pan Ocean Group. The asset management company of Nigeria is like the ombudsman that handles or comes to the rescue of companies, public companies that can't, that have challenges, and instead of allowing them to liquidate, it takes over the companies to run them for some time to ensure stability. All right, those are the headlines this morning. Thank you very much for following through.